Today we're going to be pruning fig trees. They've gotten very big. One behind me you see is about 10 feet tall. It's planted, like all my fig trees are, in a multi-trunked, multi-branch configuration. That's real good because if you get a freeze, you don't lose that main trunk. If you got one trunk coming out and a bunch of branches from it, and you get it cut all the way back you get it burnt back by a hard freeze, then you could lose the whole thing. We don't want to do that, so we've got a multi-trunk configuration. We've gotten some cold weather, down about 12 this year, and I'm just going to try to see how much damage it's done. I'll show you that when we get into the pruning. I've got the Ryobi thing with a pruning blade. It's not just a regular toothed wood blade that you would see on just that you'd use with a recip. It's got the pruning blade on it, just a different blade pattern, completely different cutting pattern, but it's real easy on the tree, and so I'll be using that along with the pruners. Just depends on what works faster. I need to get this done, what works faster, and also gives me the least amount of work and the best amount of effort. So this particular fig tree is probably 10 feet tall. It's got a lot of dead wood on it, wood that died last year. I mean, quite a bit. And that will just break off and pull out pretty easily. A lot of dead stuff. A lot of this is going to be dead just down to a certain point, and then it's going to be all right. I'm going to take out all the dead stuff. Here's some good examples. Just, you can hear it breaking off. It's really dead. And the very center of the tree the center tree looks good. It's got a lot of these canes coming up. Again, 10 feet tall or more. I am planning on hacking this down to about 3 feet tall, maybe about 4 feet tall probably, and all the way around, just as if a big lawnmower came through and gave it a crew cut, gave it a flat top haircut. And the same with this tree here. This is a brown turkey now. This is a brown turkey, and then I have one more big fig tree, and then we'll show you what we're going to do with the small fig trees, the young fig trees. This is a, oh, I'm starting to see some green. I didn't think I was getting any green, but I am. This is the Celeste fig tree. Some of the, looks like the smaller, lower branches have some green coming, but I don't see any on the upper branches. So I'm gonna do the same thing with this one. I should experiment maybe and see, but I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing with this one. I'm going to cut off everything, just about 4 feet tall. The figs are gonna come on this year's wood, so anything that's already up is really not going to produce very many figs. Might get a breba crop out of it, the early crop, but I found that just to be not very good. There's a dead limb. Gonna be a lot of dead ones. I'm gonna try to stack the limbs in just one place where I can come in here with my grapple, grab it, and take it to the burn pile. So we're gonna get started on it, and we'll just do it on a speed cam and show you a little bit of it. Not gonna bore you with all of it. Okay, so I've got most of them around 4 feet tall. That's 4 right there. That one up there, the tall one, maybe 5-ish. But I'll come in here with my little baby clippers and probably take off some of these. They're green. I feel it, but I'll come in here and take off some of these and just give it a good haircut. It could definitely use that. I don't think I pruned it at all last year, although I think the freeze got most of it last year, so I don't think I had to prune it. I think all this growth was from last year. That's what that one looks like. That's what the other one looks like over there. It's a pretty good ways off. And anyway, we'll come back to this one. Now I've got some little fig trees, probably 3-year-old fig trees, something like that, 3 or 4. They froze all the way back to the ground last year. Grew up, some of them grew pretty good bit this year, but I'm gonna go prune those and I'll show you what I'm doing with those and tell you why. So I'm sitting where I used to have all my blackberries, my big blackberry patch. So all these have drip irrigation on them. All these are, 3 feet tall. That one right there, maybe 5 feet tall. Instead of using the big shears on these, I'm just gonna clip these here, about 3 feet tall, maybe 4. And what I'm doing, I'm trying to make sure that I've got a bud that is coming outward, not growing in toward the center of the plant, but on the outward position. Always looking outward. I don't want it to come in and through the center of the plant and start shading out the middle of it. So I'll come in here where I've got an outie, and that's really all I'm going to do. I'm not going to do anything radical. Just kind of tip these, kind of take the tops off these, and I'm going to try to do just about every one. That I may miss 1 or 2, but I will try not to. And just see, I'm already starting to see a little green. I don't like that. I waited too dadgum long, but that's kind of par for the course for me. And I don't think it's going to hurt anything. I'm not taking enough off these to really, I don't think, to really make a difference. So let's see, that one's kind of growing toward the other one. I may go ahead and take him right there. This one right there. There's an outie. And just clip right above a limb that's coming to the outside of the plant, if at all possible. And I think I'll do that one. This one's kind of crossing over. I don't really like that. I might try to get him. There you go. And nip that there. That there. And then the central leader there. The rest of them, I think I got them all. Now what I did last year or year before, they started really flailing out. The limbs were getting tall and big, and they started kind of falling out. So what I did was come in here and drive 4 pieces of rebar. It's 3/8 rebar. Love rebar. Drove 4 pieces in here, just kind of made 4 corners, wrapped that baling string around it, baling twine around it, and just basically kept it. I pulled them inside the string and just basically kept them from just flailing way out. They pretty much grew in an upright pattern, which is what we want. So that one seems to be trimmed. Let's move on to something else. I don't want to lose any production. I hadn't had a decent fig in the last 2 years, so I'm trying my best to get these going and working, and hopefully I am not too late in pruning. I don't think I am. They're okay, but I'm just trying to get some of these done and make sure the next bud up from where I'm pruning is pointing outside the trees, not growing inward. That's the main thing I'm doing. On the other trees, the real big trees I just did, a lot of that was also for mowing. Some of those limbs were flailed out so far, big limbs were flailed out so far that when I come through and mow, I get hit in the head. I can't mow close enough to the tree. A lot of different things that were going on there. So I just made sure that I killed, pruned a bunch of those that were flailing out like that. So I'm just pruning these, not because they really need pruning, but just because I want them to grow. Cut that top off, and they'll start making little buds and little limbs all up and down there, and that's where we're gonna get our fruit. So I've got these 4 trees done, and I like what I'm seeing, because most of them have some budding going on, some green budding. Whether you can see that or not with the light where it is. We've got some green buds on them. So I was concerned that these little ones were going to be burnt up in the freeze, and it seems that most of them have not. I may lose some of the limbs, but most of them have not. I told you before, they're all watered. A drip irrigation. That's my drip irrigation hose right there. emitter. And but these look good. Again, not near as radical as the big fig trees I did, because they're just so big and needed some radical pruning. I really feel like I'm going to get a good fig crop this year, and I have not had that in the last two. So hopefully you will see me picking some figs this year, and I hope you get some too. Tell me if you've already pruned yours, or if they're, you know, what yours look like. If you did prune them, did you get burnt real bad on the freeze? Just, you know, tell me what's going on with your figs. I'd really love to hear it. And for now, I think my figs are kind of ready to go, ready to start budding and blooming, ready for me to fertilize in just a little while. If they're going to start kind of budding out, maybe I need to go ahead and throw a little fertilizer on there. So we'll think about that, and we'll do that, you know, in the next week or two or something like that. All right, I think I've talked enough, and I think you've listened enough. You should listen faster. If you listen faster, these videos wouldn't be quite as long as they are. So it's your fault, not mine. All right. All right, we're gone.